Hello, my name is Ranterm and welcome back to another Warframe tutorial. Before we get in, I'm just going to say this is just going to be a quick intro on how to do the once a week quest easy and quick, really. So, this is how you're going to access the quest. It'll be a screen like the Howl of the Kubro where you can just click begin. I've already begun the quest, so there's really no use in me clicking begin. You can get it from the junction, that's all there is to it. If you're watching this guide, you probably don't care about the intro, but there's story if you're deciding to watch this for the story and not going to play it yourself. So let's get right into the mission.
I've identified several vulnerable data consoles on this base. Find them and hack in. We need to know the nature of their new bioweapon.
Deteno! Keep them away from the specimens!
Destroy them! Dr. Tengus demands absolute secrecy!
So as you can see here, it's a spy mission, and story-wise it's just the Grineer have to deal with some weapon they don't understand, or some doctor named
My scans are not detecting any known biochemical agents.
As you can see
What
here,
are
these
they
are the
doing
Infested.
down here?
This is all this quest is it's an intro to the Infested enemy type. They are a melee type of enemy that just run at you and smack you. Most of them don't have armor, as you can see by the red health bar, while Grineer have a yellow health bar. Yellow health bar means they have armor. So a good weapon to use against them is going to be weapons that deal fire damage and slash
You're
damage.
nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now, and they will
So here
start
is the
destroying
first
the
data
data.
vault. Now you could run through the whole thing and the long way and try to do that, but there's no point in doing that when there's such an easy way to complete this. If you look around the room in most spy rooms, you'll notice easy ways to get by without going the direct path. For this one, you just simply jump up and then drop through a hole in the ceiling. Those yellow sensors don't actually detect you. They just... really all they are doing is letting you know that there's a scanner there. If you walk through the door, then it will detect you.
Data
Then you can
extracted.
just hack the
They
thing.
won't even know it's gone.
In this room, there is multiple instances that you see you could have used. As I'm just going to have that. There's an elevator down low. But there's lasers that you'd have to hack from the outside.
Stay focused. There's a heavy
So,
unit approaching.
no point in using the elevator. There's also a trap over there, and a bridge you can hack that opens the door. But, again, it's just simple to just jump through the ceiling. All it takes is holding down your crouch button, looking up, jumping, landing on the railing, and then jumping through there. But if you look through the spy rooms, again, there's always different ways to do things. Ultimately, the easy way of doing this room will lead you to jumping through the ceiling, but there's no point in going through these vents that you see me going through here, because, again, it's one bullet jump. That's all it really takes. And we're not going to talk about my inability to make that jump for some reason. Yeah, just the vents will just spit you out towards the top, and there's no real point in using them to get up to the top when, again, crouch, jump, you're there. It's not very hard. Grineer spy missions are rarely difficult. It's really difficult spy missions you have to worry about. And I don't know why I'm saying this before. There's even infested enemies. There's nothing to them other than they just have a lot of health and they attract them. For most of this mission, you can just avoid the enemies, run past them, and continue to hack all the stuff. This is what I'm going to continue to do. On the way there, I will say, if you see the Donna, which is the cape that I have and all the stuff, I got that relatively for free because it is the
Target console is
transfer
nearby.
event active at the moment.
If you trigger the alarms now,
Anyway,
the enemy will start destroying data.
this is the next spy room. You'll see multiple paths that just have a sensor above them, but really, all you have to do to get through this one without triggering many alarms is you can just jump up, over, go through a tunnel on top that'll spit you out
Stay focused. There's
above
a heavy
a elevator
unit
you're
approaching.
able to hack. But all you gotta do is drop through a hole in the floor, and it'll lead you to the main spy room. There is a laser grid, and in later game missions that have this variant of the spy room, there is some more lasers to avoid, but all you gotta do is hack the terminal. After hacking the terminal, you can simply go to the elevator and try to go out. If you take the elevator to the top, I don't think I do it in this video, it will open the door up there. But if it sometimes it doesn't, it can be weird sometimes, or maybe it was a glitch I was experiencing. You can just go back the way you came and not fail to jump like I keep doing for some reason.
This shouldn't be possible. Tenno,
And you don't have to
it
go
is
to the
more
top
important
vent,
than ever that you
because
finish your
can just
mission.
go out the side
We need
doors.
to know what is
After
going
you've
on here.
actually gotten the data, triggering the alarms doesn't mean anything. And for some reason they decided to lock me in the spy room. That's another thing. Whenever you hear the alarms, you don't have to hack them. There's no point. Really all that means is, the next time they try to hack the alarms, it's going to lock the doors around you. Which rarely happens, because they hack the alarms the first time and don't really like to trigger the alarms the second time. The Infested are relatively easy to kill. I will say they're probably the easiest enemy type. Although on Deimos, which is a planet you get after Mars, they are a little bit more difficult, and some of them have armor, but it all comes down to using Heat, which strips armor, and Viral, which cuts their health in half, and Slash. That's usually the rule of thumb with that. So, with the spy room, there's a very easy path if you take off to your right.
Trigger the alarms
But
now,
I'm
and they
gonna
will
show you
start
just
destroying the data.
This is the reason you really want to take the quick path. If you see off to the side here, there's just some random things you'll see. There's an area that you can jump through to get to the end. Although usually in this mission node there will be a scanner driving back and forth where I'm at. But I'm going to trigger the alarms. Just to show you how quick you can do this.
Stay
Hacking
focused.
that terminal
There's a
does
heavy
nothing
unit
for us.
approaching.
It might put up a bridge
Alarms.
at most.
Data
But
destruction
if
is
you take this
imminent.
path to the right that you
need
saw
to
at the
hurry.
beginning, all you do is jump through here, wall run, jump up the vent, jump through, jump down, and hack one terminal, and you're inside the spy room, hack another terminal, and as you can see, it's not too difficult. For the ones that are left, at least. Later, it might be harder just because, well, there will be a complete circle of those nodes that
You
you
got
see,
it. The data is still intact.
taken care of.
We have everything we came for. Get to extraction.
Who let them out? Was it Tengus?
Tengus did this.
As
I
you can
know
see,
he did.
clearly, Tengus,
Someone released these
or whoever that
creatures
is,
on
just
purpose.
let the Infested
They
out
want
to
them to
kill
destroy
us.
you.
Anyway, to the next mission. This mission, there's nothing much to say about it. It's an exterminate mission. The Lotus wants
This
us to
Grineer ship tried to
just
flee the
exterminate them.
infestation, but
Kill
was
all the
quickly
infested on
overrun.
this node.
Exterminate everything on board
That's
before it reaches a
all
more
there is to say about
populated
it.
sector.
Other than just the fact that they are tanky health bar-wise early game, you can still thread through them with a very, very early weapon. It won't be until probably the planet Mars that you start needing to put mods on your gear to actually take care of them. And even then, like, it's just basic mods you need, some damage and maybe some statuses.
The Grineer may have thought
But
they
I'll
could
cover all
toy
the
around
mods
with
that
the
you
infested,
use and
but
how to
they are
mod
quickly
your
learning
stuff
how
properly
wrong they
in a
were.
later video. It's not too important until you get to Mars, or even the Fetus, which is, again, not too useful, not too needed. The next mission is a defense mission. That's simply all it is. Your job is to defend the objective for 8 waves, although this mission, you're not defending an ally, you're defending a bomb. So I'm going to keep it short for this mission, because the dialogue is really just the Lotus saying, keep it alive. So all you want to do with the Infested is you can really abuse the AI. They will go straight towards the objective, and then you can use an ability to just spread them all instantly. It makes it a lot easier.
The bomb bomb is almost armed. You just have to hold out a little bit longer.
Another important thing to note for this mission is the Infested are very weak, and the Lotus will give you a heat mod for your melee weapon, which makes things easier. Another thing that you can do while you're just, and this is one of the best things about Warframe, is while you're doing anything, you can do other things.
It's time for Nora
As you see, I open Nightwave here and just try to get ability kills. Like, there's many things you can do while you're completing other objectives. If it makes it less boring than just sitting here shooting endless Infested or 8 waves. Another important thing to know about the Infested is ancient healers suck. They like to make nearby enemies immune to certain effects, and Eximuses like to just make them immune to abilities. It's quite annoying, and it makes a lot of the nearby enemies very tanky. But again, just like any Infested, it's weak to flash and heat damage, and you can really just sit there and smack it. Early game, all it is running around and pressing B or using a random ability to let them do the work for you. You can sit here and shoot them with a bow all day, expand ability, do whatever you want. This mission is quite short though. And I'll let the rest of the gameplay speak for itself.
The bomb is armed. I'm extracting you now. Good job, Tenno.
As you can see at the end of the mission, you are awarded with the Heat Sword and a few intercepted messages. Really, story-wise, the only thing that it comes down to: the Grineer awakened the Infested, a power that was long thought to just be extinct by the Lotus, apparently, and they're trying to blame it on us. Other than that, there's really nothing important of note. And one thing you'll see is I'll start to go to the market, although I edited that portion out because it gets me nowhere, because we already own the blueprint. You can insert a code into the market that is FREESWORD, all one word, all caps. When you hit rank, or when you hit Master Rank 3, you can do that to get another free Heat Sword that already has like catalyst and stuff in it. But you need to be Master Rank 3 in order to do that. But from this quest, you just get a weapon that's gonna treat you well early game, once you hit Master Rank 3 to actually craft it. And a couple resources, and just an intro on the enemies as a whole. Other than that, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope this makes the quest easier than it already is, and hope you learned a few things with enemies.